Ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, I would like to invite the director of the center to give her opening remarks. The director of the center is Dr. Diana Antamu. Dr. Diana Antamu is the director, and she is also a senior lecturer in the Department of Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Dr. Diana Antamu is also a researcher. She is a consultant, and she is a board member on various boards. Dr. Diana Antamu, please unmute and give your opening remarks and also introduce to us the presenter of the day. You're welcome, Dr. Diana Antamu.
Thank you, Dr. Basalirwa. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to see you logged on here today as we explore a topic rapidly changing business space, artificial intelligence. I know that you have heard about artificial intelligence. Some people call it AI. That is the short term for the full word artificial intelligence. And most of the time, it sounds a little intimidating. Sometimes you may even think it is something for the future. I remember many years ago when people used to talk about robots, we used to watch robots in the movies, but robots are here. They are even here in Uganda. Similarly, artificial intelligence is here with us. It's becoming increasingly accessible. And in fact, it is relevant to business of all sizes, including people who are running businesses at the micro level, a small level, medium, and of course, large enterprises. Sometimes people have thought that artificial intelligence is only for large organizations that have big budgets, but that's not true anymore. There are quite a number of affordable or even free artificial intelligence tools that a small business can take advantage of. Artificial intelligence will help you save time and resources. It will help you reach more customers. It may help you even improve customer service. It also will help you make better decisions. But what are these different artificial intelligence tools? This morning, we are honored to host our speaker, Dr. Abdal Kasule, who has a PhD in computer and information engineering from Sakarya University in Turkey. He holds a Master of Science in Computer Science. He holds a postgraduate diploma in education and a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Makerere University. He's currently a lecturer at MUBS in the Faculty of Computing and Informatics under the Department of Information Systems. His specialty is computational and artificial intelligence, data analytics, fourth industrial revolution technologies, programming, and systems development. So you can imagine we have the best expert today here with us who is going to be talking to us about these tools of artificial intelligence that we can use in our businesses. He has mentored a number of staff at the faculty. He has supervised both undergraduate and postgraduate students. He's a family man. We want to welcome you, Dr. Abdallah, for you to make your presentation. You're welcome, and over to you now. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Diana, for that introduction. And thank you, the previous speakers, for your comments. And I once again welcome everybody to this discussion. I'm privileged to have been selected to be the one talking about this. And I will be able to deliver, hopefully, and be able to make sure that our businesses can be able to use the tools available for artificial intelligence. So the topic of discussion today is artificial intelligence for your business, artificial intelligence tools for your business. So when I was given this topic, I started wondering now what everybody knows about AI of late, and maybe the component that we are going to be picking out of this is that amongst the main AIs that we have around, we know about, and those we don't know about, how can we use them for our businesses, and probably choose the appropriate tool. There are quite a number of tools out there. So in our discussion, we are going to be able to look at specifically which tools can we be able to have in our business. Allow me project my presentation. It is a presentation that has been tailored to picking out the relevant tools that I saw and that I feel that would be for startups, for businesses to start with in their artificial intelligence journey. Of course, there are quite a number of tools out there. Some of them are very sophisticated, some of them are medium, and anyway, we can be able to see which tools we can be able to pick out of the many tools available out there. So our discussion is going to be hinged on these 4 points. One, that is I'm going to talk about an introduction to AI, or basically what is AI. And then most of our discussion is going to be looking at AI applications or AI tools that we can be able to use in our businesses. And then we shall look at their challenges, of course. There are challenges we are going to face, having talked about the tools and so on. Next step presumably would be, how do we implement these tools now? So we shall be able to look at those challenges that we might be able to face in implementing those tools. However, though, we can provide strategies for the adoption of these tools within our businesses. That is what we are going to be going through as our outline for the discussion today. So in summary, or briefly, when we talk about AI, we are basically looking at a machine trying to simulate human intelligence, meaning that instead of letting these people do so many things, like, for example, the moderator talked about robots and so on. Robots are basically simulating what we humans can be able to do. So similarly, artificial intelligence is that intelligence that we, first of all, have, and then we are passing it onto a machine. A machine can be a robot, a machine can be a computer, a machine can be any device, provided you can give it those kinds of instructions of how a human can be able to do a thing. So here I'm citing examples. For example, we can be able to talk about chatbots, which are very common in today's applications. For example, you visit a website and there is something pops up and say, how can we help you, and so on. These are artificial intelligence tools that are basically designed to be able to help a customer, to be able to help somebody who is navigating a new environment which he or she has no knowledge about, or any queries. I know this is very common in businesses, that you do have inquiries all the time. So you can employ somebody to take these inquiries, but I think that is becoming old-fashioned. That's becoming old age. That why should you be able to employ such a person if you can have such a tool which you can be able to be there and aid the help for the others who are asking about your business. So that is what basically artificial intelligence is about. In brief terms, quite a very broad subject, but generally that's what we are doing when we say artificial intelligence. It is basically having what we humans can be able to do, and therefore be able to instruct humans to do that as we would have done it. And here I'm giving examples on here that, for example, a mobile money fraud detection is kind of tools that have been developed. Many tools are being developed by many telcos, by many providers on how to detect fraud. And one kind of fraud that we see, which is more evident today, is mobile money fraud. So among the very many kinds of users, how do you be able to detect fraud if you are just an individual? So this is where artificial intelligence can come in. Of course, why we are saying artificial intelligence, maybe the other thing is that artificial intelligence would be able to work if there is quite some substantive data being collected. So in whatever we are trying to do as artificial intelligence, because even as humans, whatever we are doing, we build the intelligence, we build our intelligence basing on information that we receive on a daily, getting information basing on what we get in data and many things that we do. So our learning is basically on the data and information that we get. So similarly, an artificial intelligence tool will depend on the data that it has been supplied with, that has been given with. A chatbot, for example, we are talking about here, would ideally mean that you have been able to put these questions and answers to it and so on. So it is learning, okay? So much as humans also learn, the tools are also designed, first of all, learn on the many experiences and information that we give them. So these are some examples, like we have got chatbots I've talked about, recommendation systems, where you can be able to have people being recommended on many choices available based on what they have been able to give. For example, a customer is inquiring about a product and you've gotten various products within your business. What would you recommend? So means that a customer would come to your premises, discuss with you and so on. But why can't we be able to substitute this with a tool that we have taught and we have been able to give all the required information about the business? So that is ideally what artificial intelligence in brief is about. So why is it relevant to our businesses? Artificial intelligence is relevant to our businesses because we see that we can be able to have the solutions be able to scale and also become affordable for businesses. I know the cost of running business is not that is much, okay, given the world we are living in and so on. And every business person is looking to make sure that he or she can be able to maximize profit. How do you maximize profit? By making sure that your operations do not take that much percentage of your capital. So therefore, we are saying that if we are able to integrate artificial intelligence within our businesses, we can be able to have affordable and scalable solutions that can help our businesses probably go to the next level. So that is what the introduction to artificial intelligence and why is it relevant to businesses. Of course, AI has been a discipline or a subject that has been discussed in various aspects of our lives, in various sectors. Go to health, go to education, go to finance, go to wherever, it is everywhere. So the tools we are going to be able to get to here are basically for our businesses. As regards the many tools that are available here, there are so many tools that are available, but I chose to pick out some of the tools that maybe you have heard of or you're familiar with, and maybe how can we be able to tailor these tools to our businesses. If we had more time, probably we would have demonstrated on some of these tools to see how they can be able to work, but maybe we can be able to get the use case here, and when we get back to our desks and so on, we can try and see how can we be able to use these tools. So we all know ChatGPT is a common tool, and we are using it for various purposes. In academia, people are using it, instructors are using it. Why not businesses using it as well? Among the use cases that I've picked out here for your businesses, for example, you are looking for how to generate content for your marketing strategy. Why don't you go to ChatGPT and be able to feed in, okay? Feed in WhatsApp. Meta AI, for example, also can be able to give you some content for your marketing campaign. You have ideas or business goals that you want to be able to talk about. Why don't you get there and so on? So this is a tool that is available to us. We have heard about it. We have heard so much about it. We have used it even, but have we been able to use it in a business context? So that is what we're having as a Open AI's ChatGPT is one tool that we can be able to have. Then we have got another tool that we are calling Zoho CRM, which is a tool that we can be able to use and manage customer relationships. I know in business, managing customer relationships is very, very key, okay? So if we don't manage our relationship with our customers, we tend to lose them. Therefore, there is another tool that we can be able to use for our businesses and be able to have them managed very well. So Zoho CRM is another tool that we can be able to have and be able to manage our customers, manage the tasks, help customers, predict their behaviors, and also engage them in a way or another. So that is another tool that we can be able to have in our businesses. And another tool that you can actually be able to have is what we have as HubSpot. Okay, HubSpot is the use case that we can, of course, these tools, as we get them, they can be used for different purposes. So the use case that I'm citing in here is basically tailoring our business to how can I be able to use this tool to make it a good tool for streamlining my operations. So streamlining marketing, sales, and services processes that integrate with AI tools. So that is another kind of tool we can be able to use to be able to have our businesses be able to adopt the AI as well as on board on the AI space. Then we have got another tool that we can be able to have is a data robot, which can automate processes, predict trends, optimize processes, prices, and support strategic decisions. I know in businesses still, we want to be able to predict trends. You are going to go into business venture, but you don't know how it is going to be able to work in the future. So how can you be able to predict trends? Data robot can be able to give you such trends. We always look for optimizing prices and making sure that we have made a strategic decision towards what we can be able to do. Data robot can as well be able to give us that kind of case. So there are many tools. There are many tools out there you can be able to use. And among the ones we have discussed here so far, there are, of course, as we get into the challenges of these so many tools, we would find, like, for example, most of us would say the cost of implementation and so on and so on. But for starters, these tools can be able to provide us with the free versions of what we can be able to use, and then later, as maybe we see how it is used, how it is working, we can upgrade to better versions of the tool. So those are some of the simple tools that I found that can be applicable, that we can use freely in our businesses and be able to use them. However, there are also other tools that we can be able to customize for our tools. I looked through this and found some of the tools that we can be able to, particularly no need to have that specialized setup. For example, WhatsApp for business. I know we are using WhatsApp for business, but how can we turn it into an AI chatbot that we always give customers that this is our WhatsApp contact and so on. So that means that we are engaging somebody who is going to be having that account. Why can't we turn it into a chatbot and be able to have it be able to work through all of these questions that customers will be able to use? However, we say, like I said earlier on, that we need to have our data prepared and given to this tool for it to learn how to respond, for it to learn how to answer the questions that are coming here, for it to be able to do the analytics that we want to do, okay? We use Facebook, for example. We have got Facebook pages as well as in the social media space. Have we ever tried to look at our social media, how we are working with, how we are faring on these social media platforms? That is another tool that we can be able to have. Then there are also many businesses who try to have operations and manage inventory. There are quite a number of operation inventory management tools, automation tools, which you could monitor your inventory levels. For example, another tool that I've seen being used is Easy Stock. Easy Stock is one tool that you can be able to get there and be able to feed in some information and so on. So in general, an AI tool is just not going to be there and it does what you have to do. It has to be interacted with. You have to interact with this tool. And how do you interact with tool? First thing is give it the data that it requires. And then after giving the data, the tool can be able to learn on this data and probably give you whatever you would want to be able to get. Then there is this is a civil force fintech solution is one of the customized tools that we have, which can actually look at how the credit worthiness of a customer is. I know some of us are in circles, some of us are in credit and so on. So if you want to, because most of the time when people in especially these credit businesses and so on, they get lots of losses because people do not pay back and so on. So how do you assess this person's credit worthiness? That if I give this person money and so on, we have to get back the money. But most practice is that when people get money, they give you collateral and so on. But at the end of the day, you tend to have maybe one party losing and so on. So what if we use a tool that can be able to assess, is this person surely credit worth? And if it's so, how much of it? So you can be able to have that. Then some of us in agriculture, and most of the time we might be dependent on weather forecasting or weather seasons and so on. But can we be able to have this as well included, as so many tools are available out there? However, also most of these tools can also drive new pathways, discover new pathways. Okay, like we have talked about getting into a business venture, a new business idea. You don't know how to go about it. And so you don't have any information here to pick it. You go to Google maybe and try to search something. It's a lot of things that you can be able to do. The beauty with this tool is that they are spot on in most cases. They will give you what you need to do, and what you have to move from there is to try to put it into your context. That's the beauty with the tools, that they can give you, instead of getting this Google search and get lots and lots of responses, the tool can give you a simplified and summarized kind of pathway that you can be able to follow and be able to do that. Some of them have got analytics. Okay, some of the tools have got analytics which can enable you to identify emerging trends, that this is a business venture, this is how it's performing, and so on. So ideally, we are using these tools to make sure that we can be able to almost do whatever we can be able to do within our businesses. What are the challenges to adopting these AI tools? One, which is very, very fundamental, is cultural resistance, that many of our customers and many businesses still believe that traditional ways of work are the best way. Okay, so getting them on board can be a challenge. That is cultural resistance. That is one thing that you will find. Okay, you will find that many people are having that resistance. However, if we do adopt this in a kind of organized way, because most times when we come with technology, we so much focus on what the technology can be able to do, leaving out what the person who is going to be using this technology, should be able to get. So the person or the people who are going to be using this technology have to be prepared as well, so that the cultural resistance can be countered in that regard. So cultural resistance is one thing, but it's mostly coming in because we bring technology, and most of the time we focus on the technology and leave out the people who are going to be using technology. The other challenge that we have is the skills gap that we can be able to have, where many of our entrepreneurs, many of our workforce has limitations in their digital literacy abilities. So there is that skills gap that today you have been here, you go back and say that, yes, we can be able to use this tool for our businesses, but are those people really having that, the team that we are working with, do they have the digital literacy, among others? And of course, we have these infrastructure challenges, unreliable internet, unreliable electricity, because if it's an AI tool, which is a machine, definitely it needs to be powered in some way or the other. And some of them, or most of them, need to have connection to the internet. So that is an infrastructure challenge. The high cost upfront investment for AI tool is another challenge. But like I said earlier on, most of these tools offer free versions or free demos, which we can begin with and see, is the tool going to be able to improve on my business performance? So before you go into investing, of course, the paid up tools come with better functionalities and many other things. But can we begin and start maybe saying that, let me use this tool to be able to at least do this, prepare your data set, put it in there, and let it be able to do the analysis for you, give the projections for you, and be able to have that. To have the tools, see what you can be able to do with your businesses. And of course, our regulation is still not yet there, okay? We're still fighting and struggling to make sure that the regulation is up to wherever what we want to be able to do. So there are so many things coming in, and integrating all these new things need to be having a proper regulatory in place. So data privacy laws is one of the things that we are mostly looking at in regulatory compliance. We have got breaches that if information is breached, if information is lost, somebody gets in the systems and does that ABCD and so on. So those are some of the challenges that we can be able to have. So among the strategies that we can be able to have, okay, among the strategies we can be able to have is, for example, we can be able to have invest in digital infrastructure, okay? Can be able to invest in digital infrastructure, which is the rural internet. Can our government also be able to create policies that are surely friendly to the business environment? Yeah, I'm citing an example. Our neighbors have gotten this strategy, which government can probably be able to borrow and see. Though there is something, I think, being worked on, but can we be able to maybe look at it and see how does it work well with the businesses? Has it included all the sectors that are in there? Then partner with the tech firms, okay? Private sector, you can partner with the firms in the tech sector who are actually providing these solutions. Many startups in Kampala, tech firms in Kampala around the region are basically trying to make these solutions customizable. Can I be able to have these solutions tailored to our business environments? So if we are partnering with them, then we can be able to have the AIs being put into our environments. Then also we can be able to look at trainings on AIs. Okay, can be able to have a training sessions like the ones we are having today, which is mainly about maybe looking at the iceberg, okay? But there's quite a lot below in the surface. So can we be able to have and engage in training and awareness, especially for business owners? So like, for example, we have got 30 minutes or so to talk about these tools. It could take us like 2-3 hours, maybe to demonstrate on a tool, like for example, HubSpot, Zoho, and so on. So can we be able to engage more in many of these trainings and so on? And then we can be able also to adopt low-cost cloud tools. Like most of the tools I've talked about are cloud-based, meaning that what you need to do is ideally maybe set up an account. And the people managing this tool are also going to be managing your data. So you don't have those infrastructure costs being set up, being needed in the beginning. So can we be able to, we need to have some kind of step-by-step adoption into these kinds of adoption, and also we can also be working with universities, tech hubs, for example, the MUBS Entrepreneurship Incubation, Innovation and Incubation Centre, I believe is one kind of place where if you can be able to partner with, of course, we have got partnership, that's why we are in this engagement. So we can be able to help you and be able to see how best can we be able to have these tools implemented in your businesses. What is the future outlook of AI? We can have more of AI-powered solutions in our businesses if you adopt this, okay? We can have business automation for increased efficiency, and we can also have adoption with better internet and digital infrastructure, and probably looking at AI-powered agricultural solutions or any other business sector. I partially mentioned agriculture here because most of our businesses or our backbone for our economy is largely agricultural based, and I know quite many businesses in that sector. What is the takeaway for this? Takeaway is that AI can be a game changer for your business if you properly and strategically adopt it. It can be able to drive business growth. Let us try to also be able to see how can we overcome implementation barriers, because if we don't do that, the AI implementation is going to be just a story like we are in this discussion here. We can just say, we heard about those things, but implementation has failed. So the implementation barriers, if you overcome them, and one way of overcoming these implementation barriers is, like I've said earlier on, try these cloud-based tools, which you do not need to have that set up, okay? The providers have already set up these solutions. So you need maybe to just create an account. Like many of us are using Facebook, okay? And I've got Facebook pages, but we don't manage the Facebook infrastructure. Facebook has got some analytics in it, has got some AIs in it, and many businesses are using this. So have we ever tried to look at this analytics that Facebook alone can be able to offer us and be able to get to know that this way you are doing well? Because when you post on Facebook, people will comment. And this is already the data that has been generated for you for the AI tool to be able to work on with it. So just maybe you need to have that in mind, that we should be able to overcome that information barriers by way of starting small, and then if businesses actually become profitable, we get into the swing of modes at a full scale. Then government, private sector, and businesses, there should be collaborations. Surely, if we do not do that, if we are saying that we are private sector in this BI business, we shall not be able to manage. So let us collaborate and make sure that as you are adopting the AI tools, we are actually making sure that we can be helped, we can be collaborating with others to make sure that we get our businesses in the AI space. Thank you. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdal Kasule, for a great presentation that you have made. We appreciate your time and thank you for elaborating this topic so well. We appreciate you. Thank you for you've introduced us to this. You were able to give us an introduction to AI and telling us what AI is. You've taken us through some of the artificial intelligence applications, among which we have OpenAI, ChatGPT, Zoho's CRM, Data Robots, and others. You've been able to take us through. After going through the applications, you also give us the benefits of each of them. And you've been able to expose us to some of the challenges for artificial intelligence adoption. You've given us some strategies for artificial intelligence adoption, which is really very good. And you've given us a way forward of how best we can be able to do that. And I like your concluding remarks where you are saying that AI can be a game changer for business, especially if we can be able to adopt AI and encouraging us to have collaborations will help us be able to take on the advantages of AI. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I know that people logged on here who listened to you have picked a lot, and they would like to interact with you more. Allow me to open up the session. And before I open up the session, let me also appreciate your time management. You've really managed the time so well, and you've given us enough time to be able to interact with you further. So I'd like to invite Miss Alia to take us through the Q&A session. Alia, are you there?
Yes, I am here, Doctor.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for hosting us this morning. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for always logging in to be with us every Thursday morning. We appreciate you all, and we look forward to seeing you again next Thursday. I also want to thank our facilitator this morning, Dr. Kasule. Thank you so very much for allowing to talk to us this morning on a very interesting topic. I am sure that the entrepreneurs on the call are excited to try and use some of these tools in their businesses. Before we go to the session, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alia Namboa. I am an accounts manager. I work with the MUBS Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre, and one of our focus areas, which is consultancy. At this point, without wasting much time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to open up the Q&A session. I want to welcome you all to the session. This is the time when we get to interact with our facilitator, where we get to ask questions, and he is willing to answer to them. So you can use the chat, you can use the Q&A section, or you can raise your electronic hand. We shall give you permission to ask your question. So in the chat so far, we have a lot of appreciation messages to you, Doctor. And then, okay, we don't have questions yet in the Q&A, but there are 2 questions in the chat. Maybe we can first attend to those as we wait for others to send through questions. Ms. Elith said security issues with AI. I think she was asking what are the security issues with AI? And still Ms. Elith asked, how do you address AI issues in this evil world? Maybe Dr. Kasule, you can respond to Ms. Elith as we wait for other questions from the participants.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Elif, for the question. It's about security issues with AI. Well, in any computing environment, security is very, very key. And there are many breaches that come via the applications. However, the implementation of this is that many security appliances are also applications or methods are also included in there. And in this regard, where the providers or the developers of the AI tools are basically concerned. That's why I hinted on data privacy. That data, because AI tools depend largely on the data that we give them, and data privacy is one of the issues. In as much as there are technical solutions that are designed to happening, what do we have to do? Because if something has happened and security issue, then we surely need to escalate it so that these people can be apprehended. We can only be able to do that if we can have proper regulation put in place. So as a technical person, I do my investigation that this is what happened with this data, and therefore I should be able to hand it over, because I might not have powers or ability to prosecute these people. But that's why we need to have that collaborative effort with the regulation, that if regulation is in place, can guide me to be able to do my technical investigation, and then I maybe hand over to the law to be able to make the appropriate action. That's how I can be able to say about the security issues. One, on the technical side, and two, the regulation side, the side of the law. The two should be able to come together to be able to do those things together and make sure that we live in a comfortable AI space. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kasule. We have a hand raised. Josh, kindly unmute Miss Elizabeth. So she can ask her question.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Dr. Kasule. This is a wonderful topic indeed, and we are very, very happy that you've given us these insights. My question is, how do you let the general public know about what you are doing as people using AI? For example, if I'm in agriculture, do I get to know which will be the best system for my animals, for my plants? In other words, do you have what I would call the harvest for money for AI? Because harvest for money gives us insights into what we need as agriculturists. Do you have a way of sensitizing the general public about the different applications that one can get hold of? Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Kasule, let me read two more questions from the Q&A so you can respond to them. We have from Maureen, AI is sometimes not embraced by management, yet without embracing it, one is bound to lag behind. How can one convince their bosses or organizations that AI isn't making us lazy, but enhancing deliverable as staff? Then the next one is from Ms. Winfred Joy, who is asking, can you be able to have a short course in AI, and where and how much can it be? Let me take one more so you can respond to 4 of them. Is there a strategy and platform where MUBS can offer basic technical training on application of this abstract technology? Otherwise, thank you so much. Maybe, Doctor, you can respond to those, then we can take the last batch.
Okay. Thank you. Going with Madam Elizabeth's question, how do we have this awareness? I think this session here, to me, is an open that surely this is a topic that is needed out there. And many other questions have come in, like how do we showcase what AI has done, a short course on AI, what has MUBS done. I think this comes back to MUBS as the faculties and the departments, that now we are seeing that the people out there need this information. So maybe what I can say is that we need to maybe organize more of these sessions, if need be able to have this showcase somewhere, as in an expo, to be able to showcase what AI can be able to do. And of course, it's not only MUBS. That's why I was talking about collaboration with the different partners. MUBS alone might be able to have this done in simple way, but we need to be able to bring others on board to make sure that we can be able to have this. So I think this is a good thing. People are raising it, and I think as MUBS and the Entrepreneurship Centre, we can be able to work together and see how can we fill this gap now? Since we have opened up this topic, the gap is there. So I would maybe get in touch with still work with the MUBS and the MUBS Entrepreneurship and the Innovation Centre, as well as other faculties and maybe other partners, so we can be able to have this, see how we can be able to disseminate this information. But it all goes back to what I've talked about in my presentation. There is their need for training and awareness. So this is something that we need to be able to maybe work on. Then in regard to how do we use it for productivity and so on, I think this goes back to what we can be able to say as ethical use of AI. How can we use it ethically to make sure that we do not do it for unproductive kind of purposes or regard? So there is a discussion that can be able to be engaged in, especially this is what I talked about when we come to integrating technology within the organization or within a business. If we are going to be able to use this technology, let us not just bring this technology, we also need to focus on the people and how ethically can they be able to use it so that they do not abuse it. That is something that we need to be able to be aware of, that if management is bringing in this technology, we who are going to be using and consuming this technology, let us be guided on how ethically we can be able to use it so we can be able to reap the full benefits of the application. Then short course on AI, this goes again back to my bosses in the department and maybe the faculty, see how or run a short course on this. This is for engaging with my faculty and together with the many other players in this. I think that's what I can be able to say about those questions. Back to you, moderator. Back to you, moderator.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kasule. I think we have two more questions. Mr. Mugabe is asking where they can be trained for AI. And then Mr. Emmanuel is saying, thank you very much, Dr. Kasule, for the wonderful facilitation. Are universities like MUBS in Uganda training people in AI? And how are they integrating it in teaching and learning? Doctor?
Thank you. Many of the curricula in regard to computing, IT, and so on have integrated these courses, have actually revised their curricula, and they are taking this as some of the modules in their courses. However, I think I haven't been able to find out which has been designed, which university institution has designed specifically a short course on AI applications and so on. And I think this is where MUBS should be able to come in and fill in that gap. So with the team at MUBS and the faculties, I think we need to engage and be able to, can we design this course so you can be able to have this gap filled in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can respond to this one. Says Dr. Kasule, we need some training in AI. Can you come to our institution and sensitize us? When are we including AI in our curriculum?
This is from Miss Babalanda Jean. Maybe
Yes.
we can share contacts and be able to see how we can be able to work through the modalities of how we can be able to arrange this training through the MUBS Entrepreneurship and Incubation Centre.
Okay, Ms. Jean, you can get in touch with us. We shall be able to link you up with Dr. Kasule. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Kasule, for being able to answer to the questions from the participants. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for participating in the question and Q&A session, and also for being with us this morning. A very good morning to you all. Over to you, Dr. Edith.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alia, for managing the Q&A so well. And also thank you so much to our Dr. Kasule Abdallah for responding to some of the issues to the issues raised and competently interacting with the people further. We appreciate your time once again, and thank you for sharing with us the information that you have. We are almost getting finalizing this, but before we do that, allow me to invite Mr. Josh Karuhanga to make some brief recognition. Josh, please go ahead. Josh, please, some brief recognition.
Yes, hello, Dr. Edu. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well, very well.
Oh, great. A very good morning to everyone. My name is Karuhanga Joshua. I just want to thank you for logging in for today's session. So I work with the center, and I'm just going to give a very brief recognition to the members who are on call today. So we had about 110 members on call today listening to Dr. Kasule this morning. Thank you for the presentation. A category of entrepreneurs, Rotarians, students, a team from MUBS, the MUBS fraternity. Thank you very much. Deans, heads of departments, directors have all been present this morning. We thank you for the support that you give us each Thursday morning when you attend these sessions. And we'd like to invite you for the next ones, for the sessions to come. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, Josh, for the brief recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, before we finish this, I would like to welcome Mr. Charles Olupot to give closing remarks to this session. Mr. Charles Olupot is the director of the MUBS ICT Center, and I would like to invite him to give closing remarks. Charles, please, Mr. Olupot, unmute and give closing remarks on our behalf.
Thank you very much, Dr. Edith, for the invite and for the opportunity to give a closing remark. I would also right away want to thank Dr. Kasule Abdallah for this very insightful discussion this morning. Like you've rightly said, I'm the director of the MUBS ICT Center, and ICT Center is an outreach unit of the Makerere University Business School. And one of the key things that the center focuses on is training, among others. And that's why I was very excited when I had part of the questions were asking, where do we get this short course and all that? And I think our response as a business school is that we will be sharing soon an invitation to some of these programs, some of these courses, and specifically on AI that has come clearly this morning. And like you've already noted, we have a lot of expertise within the faculty, within the outreach centers, including the Entrepreneurship Center that has convened us here today. And surely we'll be able to share and we'll be able to share more on this. AI is something that has been in the offing for a while, but it is reaching its maturity now. I remember about 2 years ago, I was in Europe attending one of the AI conferences, and one of the professors said that she had been working on AI for the last 20 years. I asked myself, all this, it looks like something that is just new. People have been working on this for the last 20 years. But today we are sure that AI is coming to the front at the front line, and some of the global events like the launch of the Chinese DeepSeek AI, the AI Action Summit that was recently held in Europe, where world leaders were discussing AI. We can no longer afford to ignore AI. It is here, and I think it's opportunity for us as business people to embrace, like we've already seen. And thank you so much, Dr. Kasule, for giving insights on what is possible. And we have noted a lot of the tools that you have already given us, some of those that already relevant to us, And you've talked about chatbots that can support organizations. You've talked about applications of recommendations, systems to support businesses to make recommendations, fraud detection, where you talked about mobile money. Yes, there's a lot that is already possible for businesses to take up. And you have also given some quick insights on some of these. You of course talked about the ChatGPT AI, what it can do, the Zoho CRM, managing customer relations, HubSpot, Data Robot, among others. And we are grateful that you have given us some of these insights. And as business, I believe we are going to ask ourselves more that how can we make best use of these tools. There's one thing that you mentioned that I think is very important for us as for the businesses. You mentioned that yes, artificial intelligence is there, but it works on data. You've still emphasized on the issue of data, the importance of data. It must feed on data to be able to make meaning, to be able to make best use. And I believe as businesses, should be able to take this as an add-on to what we're already doing. It doesn't remove the fact that we must generate data. They have always continued to talk about records. It's very important. We must first generate data, and then with the help of AI, we can be able to reduce, improve on our operations. Dr. Kasule talked about the intention of every business is reduce operations, cost of operations, so that we can be able to make business. Once again, we want to thank you, Dr. Kasule, for this opportunity, for opening our minds as far as AI is concerned. And we look forward to engaging you, working with you to be able to support our business. Thank you very much. And I want to wish everybody a wonderful week ahead. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Olukoti, for the great and on how people can be able. Thank you also for always logging on to these sessions. Thank you also for soliciting for us the presenter, most especially the presenter of the day, Dr. Kasule. We appreciate you so much, and we appreciate the linkage from Mr. Olukoti Charles. Thank you once again, Dr. Kasule, for the great work you've done. It was a great presentation, and we can see that people are now informed. You've created awareness, and more interactions are going to continue because many are asking for contacts. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen who logged on this morning. We appreciate you. Thank you for finding time in the schedule to start every Thursday with us. And we request that you continue logging on every Thursday morning. And we look forward to having you again next Thursday. We wish you a blessed Thursday, and bye-bye for now. Thank you so much.
Gotta get up. Gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show it, baby. You gotta show 'em the real you. You gotta give 'em what you got. No, don't let them see what you're not. 'Cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows how you feel. 'Cause everybody's got their own damn fire. So everybody's gonna find their way. And day by day you struggle in this world. You know you have to hustle. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. People find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. Don't know that you can be perfect, that's I love you just the way that you are. I love you just the way that you are. Yeah. Oh, just stars in the sky. Oh, your eyes. Oh,